Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to learn how to write an exponential function given a graph. Um, if you haven't watched my previous videos about how to write exponential functions from a table, please stop this one and go back to the video that I previously posted about about exponential functions. Now, the first thing that you have to do is I like to create a table because sometimes my numbers get mixed up and it's a little bit harder to see the pattern that is happening if all of this looks confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my points on the table in order. That is important. Make sure that when you write them, your points are in order. So you have 0, 40, you have 1, 60, 2, 90, and then 3, 135. This is a little bit easier to see than if my points are like this. Now, let's see. We know that because my graph looks a little bit curved, it's non-linear. Therefore, that means that I don't have a constant rate of change, which means that the values of y are not being found by adding a number, the same number. So in order to find out my common ratio, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick two numbers, in this case 60 and 40, and I'm going to divide my second number by my first number. 60 divided by 40 gives me 1.5. So that means that 40 times 1.5 gives me 60. So from here to here, from 40 to 60, I increase by multiplying 40 times 1.5. Let's see if that's true for the second number. So 90 divided by 60. Oh, look at that. I got 1.5 again. Times 1.5. Don't always assume that everything is increasing by 1.5 or by the same common ratio. So let's see, 135 divided by 90. It's also 1.5 times 1.5. Well, what I did right now was that I just found my common ratio, which is the value of b. B is equal to 1.5. Now, the value of a, which is the other value that we need, is the y-intercept. And the y-intercept can be easily found by just seeing where the value of x is equal to 0, which in this case would be 40. By the way, if you don't know anything about exponential functions, go back to my previous videos. That way you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just want to remind you that we're trying to write an equation in the form of y equals a times b to the power of x, where a is your y-intercept and b is your common ratio. Now that we found both things, then I can write my equation, which will be y is equal to 40 times 1.5 raised to the power of x. And I'm done with that part. Now, I'm going to skip this one. We know that it's exponential because it has a common ratio. I'm skipping that question. And I'm more interested in knowing what would be the value at 4 months. Well, if you notice, the x-intercept, I keep saying the wrong thing. Sorry for that. The x-axis represents the number of months. So if the x-axis represents the number of months, that means that in order to predict the value at 4 months, I need to substitute for the letter x, which gives me y is equal to 40 times 1.5 raised to the power of 4. If you put that in the calculator, let me see if I can figure that out here. I'm gonna have to do it the old way. Let's see. There you go. If I do 1.5 raised to the power of 4, and then I multiply all of that times 40. Oh, not 4 times 0, it's 40. It gives me 202.5. So 40 times 1.5 raised to the power of 4 gives me 202.5. So the value, which is actually the number of visitors, will be approximately 203 visitors.